In the depths of the forest, a young adventurer named Alex decided to camp alone, starting with the peaceful ambiance of nature's silence and the stars above. However, as the night progressed, the silence began to engulf him, instilling a sense of restlessness. On the first night, a strange sound echoing among the trees woke Alex from his slumber. It was unlike the natural sounds of the forest and resembled a distant whisper. This stirred an unease within the young man. By the second night, Alex stumbled upon an old abandoned cabin nestled deep in the woods. Its door was slightly ajar, emitting an odd light that hinted at movement within. Summoning his courage, he stepped inside, only to find silence and darkness. The third night brought peculiar dreams to Alex. In his dreams, a presence seemed to follow him among the forest's shadows. This figure appeared to be trying to convey a message to him in his dream. During the fourth night, a strange and eerie event occurred in the forest. Alex felt in his dreams that the shadows were coming to life and enveloping him. It was challenging to discern whether these shadows were a sign of danger or merely a frightening dream. The fifth night brought a profound sense of silence to Alex. In his dreams, a presence was present in the forest, drawing closer to him. This situation seemed to possess his mind. On the sixth night, Alex felt lost in the forest. The line between reality and dream had blurred. He had to decide whether the entity present in the forest was real or just a figment of his imagination. By the seventh night, Alex eventually departed from the forest. The silence and solitude had left a deep impact on him, but he had now freed himself from the shadows of the forest's mysterious entities. Mia, a young nature enthusiast, decided to camp in. However, as the hours passed, the silence of the forest began to unsettle Mia's spirit. A strange rustling among the swaying trees heightened her sense of solitude. Something stirred her soul, but she couldn't grasp what it was. In the late hours of the first night, Mia heard a peculiar sound in the distance. Initially dismissing it as the wind's play, the sound resembled a whisper. When she focused her gaze, she noticed an odd shadow looming from the depths, yet unable to identify its source. On the second night, Mia stumbled upon an old cabin. Its door slightly ajar, a flickering light suggested activity inside. Driven by a mix of fear and curiosity, she cautiously stepped in, only to find silence and the decrepit sight of old belongings. The third night brought a mysterious atmosphere around Mia. In her dreams, she felt followed by a presence in the forest. A figure emerged among the shadows, yet it vanished whenever she felt it drawing closer. By the fourth night, fear enveloped Mia. She felt as if a lurking entity was trailing her in her dreams. With each step, it seemed to close in. Distinguishing reality from a terrifying dream became a challenge. The fifth night carried an intense silence around Mia. In her dreams, the shadowy presence, her soul was entwined with the mysterious forest presence. On the sixth night, the line between reality and dream blurred. Lost in the forest, she sought an escape. On the seventh night, Mia felt engulfed in the forest's silence. Distinguishing between reality and fantasy became challenging. Finally, with a deep scream, she woke, wanting to leave behind the terrifying memories of being alone in the forest. As the stars lit up the dark green of the forest, Ethan, a young adventurer, decided to spend the night alone in the forest. This was a test of courage for him. At first, silence and peace accompanied him. But as the hours progressed, the silence of the forest began to integrate with a heavy darkness around it. Slowly, wave by wave, a strange feeling enveloped the young man. There was something stirring in his soul, but he could not understand what it was. Later that first night, Ethan heard a strange sound coming from a distance. At first he thought it was the play of the wind, but this sound sounded like a moan. In the silence, this sound, which echoed through the forest, made the young man shudder. On the second night, Ethan found an old cabin. The light seeping through the broken windows signaled that there was movement inside. He stepped forward with curiosity mixed with fear, but inside there was only silence and the broken appearance of old things. On the third night, there was an air of mystery around Ethan. In his dream, he felt that he was being followed by a being in the forest. A figure was appearing among the shadows, but decaying each time the moment he felt it approaching him. On the fourth night, a fear gripped Ethan's heart. In his dream, a being wandering in the forest was watching him. Every time he took a step, this being was getting closer. Whether it was real or just a terrible dream, he had a hard time distinguishing. On the fifth night, a deep silence prevailed around Ethan. In his dream, the being wandering in the forest was now spying on him, almost touching him. This experience, filled with suspense and fear, had taken over the young man's mind. On the sixth night, Ethan's soul was surrounded by the mysterious presence of the forest. Now the line between reality and the dream had become blurred. Deck. He seemed lost in the forest and was trying to find a way out. On the seventh night, Ethan disappeared into the silence of the forest. He had difficulty distinguishing between reality and fantasy. Finally, waking up with a deep scream, he wanted to leave behind the terrible memories that came from being alone in the forest.